Hi, everybody, and welcome to our call. We are so excited for this. This is like a dream come true for all of us military spouses or military members that are part of our Juice Plus community because, you can feel a little bit isolated when you're in the military and moving around the country and around the world even. I know we have people calling in from Spain and Germany. And, we're here to let you know that you are not alone. And this is a great option and opportunity for those of us that are affiliated with the military. So we're going to go ahead and jump right in and get started. My name is Peggy Rivera, and I am a National Marketing Director with the Juice Plus Company. And I'm just so excited to see all of your faces here. Just to tell you a little bit about my story. So it'll be 6 years in March that I have been with the Juice Plus Company. And it was introduced to me at a time when our family was super sick, and we were also super sick with our finances too. Like both areas were awful, and I needed help. And so I was sharing that with a friend who is not in the military, but she's my best friend. And so I was sharing that with her, and she offered me this opportunity. And to be honest with you, back 6 years ago, I really was under the impression that all home-based businesses were pyramid schemes and, we're just out to be snaky. And boy, was I wrong. And so I had never looked at any other home-based business opportunities before, but we needed something to change our finances. We needed something to change our health. And I realized that this could be the answer. So I jumped in, and it quickly changed our health dramatically. My daughter dealt with severe constipation and digestion issues. We were all sick all the time. And within just a few days of taking the gummies, my daughter was completely healed of all of her constipation and digestion, which was amazing because we had dealt with that since she was an infant. And so to see that was pretty amazing. And so when we started realizing what it was doing for our family, how could I not share that with other people? I mean, it's just a no-brainer. I felt an obligation at that point to share with people about what we were experiencing. And then I quickly, just from being happy with my Juice Plus, was just sharing that with other people. And pretty soon I was just really moving up the marketing plan. And so our finances started to fall into place, and everything started to work out. And here I am now at the top of our marketing plan. And so while I was doing that, along the way, I was also getting a college degree, homeschooling my kids. We were moving all around the country. And so I'm telling you, if I could do it, anybody can do it. So I wanted to point out a couple of things. Our awesome friend Christy made this really amazing image here that I'm going to go ahead and screenshot with you. And I know there's probably a little bit of a lag time when I'm going to scroll through, so I'll go slow. And if you're calling in and you can't see this visual, it's okay. We'll post it on that Facebook page as well that we have for the event setup, so you can scroll through it later. But I will talk about it too. So anyway, this is from what's called the Dow Theory Letters by Richard Russell. And he talks about the perfect business. So if you are looking into a home-based business, no matter what it is, there need to be certain things. We have to be smart about the decisions that we make. And he lays out 12 criteria when starting, buying, or joining a business. And investing in the Juice Plus Company, our company, fits perfectly into each category. So we're just going to talk about that for a second. Number one is that there's a global market. And with our company, Juice Plus is operating in over 20 countries. And that is huge. It takes a lot of hoops to jump through in order to get products in different countries. And we already have that. So that's amazing. There are no territories, which is perfect for military spouses, right? Because we move all over the place. Number two is it a product that everyone needs? Everyone. And that means kids all the way through, 110 or however old you are. And Juice Plus also fits that. It's safe for everyone. The quality of our food as a whole, when you buy it in the grocery stores, is decreasing. Toxicity is increasing. And Juice Plus helps that. It helps combat all of that. And it prevents disease. So how amazing is that? The third one is that it can't be copied. Sure, you can try to dry some fruits and vegetables and put them into a capsule, but do you know the quality of the fruits and vegetables that are going in there? Do you know what the company that is making that, how they are researching it, how they are really quality controlling the whole entire process? Well, we know that with our company, which is amazing. It's the most thoroughly researched nutritional product in the entire world. There are over 30 gold standard studies, which is amazing. And it's been on the market for 23 years. So we have longevity on our side. We have the science on our side. So that's pretty amazing as well. Also, the next thing is, can it be a virtual franchise? Well, it can be. In this day and age, everybody's on the computer, especially who we are and how we're moving all over the place. That's how we stay connected with people. And so we get to do everything through the computer. Juice Plus manufactures the product, they ship the product, they bill the customers, and then they pay us and our team. All we do is share the story. So we don't have to worry about housing a bunch of extra product in our garage, which is what I was worried about when I was first signing up as a distributor. That was my first question was, am I going to have to buy a bunch of product and store it in my garage, and sell it? And that is not the case. So that's awesome. The next one is, I'll scroll down the next page, that there's a low overhead. And our company certainly is that, especially because it's virtual. We don't have to pay for a retail space. We don't have to have large inventory, which is great. There's no high-priced employees, no advertising. You can work from your phone, your computer, or your tablet, which is awesome because everybody has a smartphone these days. And also that it's a small investment. Now, I'm going to read something in a minute, but most home-based businesses, you have to pay quite a bit in order to purchase your initial startup kit. And, just even to start being a owner with that company. Well, our company is $50 for an annual fee. That's it. So there's zero risk. You're going to make that money back if you just talk to a couple of people. Other fees include admin, website, and virtual office, but those are really minor. And honestly, I don't even notice them with the amount of money that I've been making from just simply sharing this product. And what we like to say is, if you can't afford this business, then you need this business, because really $50 a year is amazing to own your own franchise. Also, cash billings. It doesn't tie up your capital with lengthy or complex credit terms. Again, it's not a snaky company. If you don't have to sign your life away in order to be involved with us. Minimal regulations, free of all kinds of government and industry regulations and structures. It's a simple, tried and proven system. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. And I really love that part, because we don't have to make up what we're doing. People have gone before us. And like it says, it's tried and proven. It's already there. We just simply have to share our stories. It can't be any easier than that. That it's portable. You can work your business from anywhere, even on vacation, which is amazing. You have your phone, you're laying on the beach, you can talk to people, and that's all that we need. Expand your network everywhere you go. If you're sitting on an airplane, you can talk to someone. If you're at the grocery store, you can talk to someone. I have a really great friend that lived in Germany. She didn't know anyone, and she just started meeting people at the commissary and inviting them over. I mean, how easy is that? The next one is intellectual needs. Juice Plus Virtual Franchise is a course in personal development, cleverly disguised as a business. It helps us to grow as a leader and develop new skills. And I tell you, I wouldn't be here talking in front of all of you if it weren't for this company, because I had never had to do that before, talk to a large room of people where I wouldn't start sweating and get really nervous. So there are really brilliant people that have gone before that we can simply learn from and model after. So that's exactly what I've been doing. Time freedom. Who doesn't want time freedom? You can be your own boss, make your own hours, utilize stolen moments, build your business on a part-time basis. And I tell you, when I first started with this business, 30 minutes a day was all I could do during nap time when my kids were napping. And that's all it took. And the last one is exponential growth. Your income is not limited by your personal output. It compresses a lifetime worth of work in 3 to 5 years, and you earn what you feel you're worth. There's never a ceiling. You can make however much money you want to make in this business. Whether you want to go fast or slow is up to you, and how much money you want to make is up to you as well. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And I'm going to read one little thing real quick before we pass it over to the amazing Amy. There's an article that was written in USAA, which everybody knows if you're part of the military. USAA is a bank for military members, veterans, and their families. And they were writing an article called The Second Act. And it's talking all about retirement. And, you know, in the normal world, people retire 60, 70 years old. And, what do you think of when you think of retirement? It's a part of the older years, and, you're going to go on vacation and all of that. Well, the reality is people aren't planning and saving for retirement, and that's not happening. It's not a piece of cake. And especially with the military, you can retire, in your 30s, 40s, 50s. And so we need to be thinking about these things. And so what they mentioned in this article, toward the end of the article, was, continuing to build income even through retirement. And so one of their suggestions was to have a direct sales business. And here's what they said: throwing in-home direct sales parties is another inexpensive way to make money. People cringe, which is funny because I did, but it's a $30 billion industry. They provide structure of a business in a box, but the original investment is like $200. That's normal. Ours is $50 for the original investment. So that is pretty amazing. And I think that says a lot coming from this bank, USAA. I mean, they're an amazing company. And so anyway, I just wanted to share that with you as well, just to kind of give you a perspective on thinking about our futures and why we're creating this life. And so now I have the pleasure of introducing Amy Meier. And if you all didn't see on the flyer, I'm going to go ahead and tell you a little bit about her. Amy graduated from the Air Force Academy in 2000. And after a career as an Air Force helicopter pilot, Amy left active duty to raise a family and follow her passion in fitness and nutrition. She's an Air Force reservist, currently on active duty orders, a certified personal trainer, a group fitness instructor, director of operations for a fitness company, and also involved with a nonprofit organization that provides fitness and nutrition education for military spouses. And she's a national marketing director with the Juice Plus company. So that is super exciting, and we know who to go to for all of our fitness needs, right? So she's passionate about helping people understand the power of real food and the impact that it has on our quality of life. Her favorite role in life is to be a mom to 3 kids and a wife to her amazing husband. So welcome, Amy.
Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I hear that and I think, when do I ever sleep? And I think, isn't that how moms usually feel? Like, when do we ever sleep? It just doesn't happen much. But I will tell you, I've been so excited to be on this journey. And it's a journey that's taken me places I never thought possible. I never thought I'd be sitting here talking to you lovely ladies. This never, ever crossed my mind that network marketing and direct sales would be something that I would be doing. I left active duty Air Force right after my daughter was born. I actually had voluntarily separated. Didn't even know I was going to have her yet. But my husband and I had been married for 6 years at the time. We lived together for less than 3. And I'm sure a lot of you can understand deployments and all of that. But for us, between training, going to pilot training at Laughlin, and then moving, doing helicopters, and I'm very in tune with Army because I spent a lot of time with them at Fort Rucker, and then moving to Minot, North Dakota without my husband. Eventually became a point where we decided we knew we wanted kids, and we knew that one of us was going to have to get out. And so we thought it was going to be him. He was going to be the stay-at-home daddy because I loved my job. I absolutely loved my job. But when I moved to Kirtland Air Force Base, I was an instructor pilot. Voluntary separation just came out of nowhere. We found out on a Friday. My husband was stationed in Korea at the time, and we just knew that this was what was right for our family. So we dropped paperwork that Monday morning. And a year later, 8 weeks after my daughter was born, I was officially separated from the Air Force, and I went into the reserves. And best decision we could have ever made, because despite me loving my job, I love my family more, and trying to do things for my family that I knew would just put us in the right path so we could follow my husband was really important. And so at that point, I'm sure some of you can relate, instant stay-at-home mom, didn't know what I was doing. I had, thought that being a helicopter pilot defined who I was, and realized that now mommyhood defined me. But I had to figure out how to be a stay-at-home mommy. But I needed the adult interaction. So I became a personal trainer, group fitness instructor, and that's where I kind of got my feel for, the passion I'd always had for nutrition and exercise. And I went to a fitness conference in Las Vegas with my husband and my daughter, and we were walking down the expo, and I found Juice Plus. And it's so funny, my sponsor, Joy Kelly, and her husband, Sandy Campbell. Sandy's one of those guys that it's like, I always, in my NMD speech, I said it's like fishing. He hooks them and she reels them in and closes the deal. And so I knew we didn't need enough fruits and vegetables. And so immediately we got on the product. I didn't become a distributor right away. I kick myself now. But it just, being on the product seemed like it was plenty for me. And I went home and I did my research. And how many of you have either done the same thing or know people, like customers of yours, who went and did their research and realized that Juice Plus wasn't for them because they read Wikipedia, right? Okay, I'm educated. I have my master's. I know that that's not research, but to me that was enough to not answer any of Joy's calls. And eventually she star 6'7" me, and I am a curious person. So, it comes up as a private caller. I didn't know who it was, so I answered. And she definitely explained to me the differences between real research, double-blind, placebo-controlled, gold standard research, and Wikipedia. And I felt very unintelligent at that point. So I kept going with the product and eventually became a distributor. And it just kind of blew up. I mean, it's amazing when you really start to understand, because the research is what got me on the product to start with. And that's back in the day. I mean, I've been doing this for 7 years. That was when we had 10 clinical studies. And we have 34 clinical studies now that prove that Juice Plus does amazing things in your body. So imagine when there was only 10, it was like, that's awesome. And now you can't hold a candle to 34 clinical studies. But I became a distributor and just kind of took off. I mean, my best friend, Lindsay, who was a fellow helicopter pilot with me, and she got out of the Air Force on the same day I did. And we were stay-at-home moms together, and she became my first distributor. And we became kind of our own test cases, if you will. Some people get their blood drawn to see the changes and what happens to your life. I had, for years, I'm a runner, had run several marathons, and had systemic inflammation in my body that made it very difficult to run. I couldn't run more than a mile without being in severe agony, and like childbirth agony. It was tough. And of course, in the Air Force, you have to run 1.5 miles for your, for your run. So it was a difficult time. And I remember my flight doc telling me, the same thing happened to me when I was your age. She's like, just stop running for 6 months and we'll see what happens. It'll probably fix itself. 6 months later, when I was on active duty, nothing happened. It was still very painful. After being on Juice Plus for 6 months, and I have to say Orchard Garden and Vineyard, because I started with Orchard Garden, but once I added Vineyard for 6 months, I ran a marathon when I was 6 weeks pregnant with my second child. Lindsay was 9 weeks pregnant with her third child. And so we were highly trained and we ate a lot of Juice Plus. And so we felt very confident that Juice Plus was going to work for our family. But during that time frame, and maybe many of you can relate this too, we had our first wellness presentation, and we did the red light, yellow light, green light foods. And so all the mommies who came over, we had the pile of foods right there, and all the red light and yellow light foods came from our pantry. And we realized then it was time to overhaul what we ate and what we were doing with our lives. And we did. And you should see her now. I mean, I am so impressed by all the changes. And that's what happens when you're educated and when you learn what these foods do for you. So my team is a lot of military spouses, but we're not just military spouses. We have a lot of fitness professionals and military spouses. We have a full gamut. We have people who are stay-at-home moms, people who work full-time, people, and I'm sure your teams look very similar to mine. But in the 7 years I've done this, I've moved 5 times. And so every time that you move, you feel like you have to reinvent yourself, right? And in addition to that, for every move, there's been an increase in rank. And so some people get very concerned about their role and how they're able to share Juice Plus with people, because you don't want people to feel like we're pushing Juice Plus on those that are within our squadron or those that are within our group. And so that's been something we've had to circumnavigate over the years. The beauty of this business, though, is that, we don't tell people that they have to get on Juice Plus. We tell people we're glorified storytellers. I mean, that's what we get paid for. We get to pay to tell people our stories, but we also get to go into the community and do the same thing. And so I'm super excited about that opportunity, in addition to what I do with not just Juice Plus, but also working for a fitness company and our nonprofit organization, Healthy Body, Healthy Life, that provides free exercise classes to military families, as well as free childcare that goes along with it. And we're hoping that someday that'll be on every base around the world. That is our dream, our goal. It's a work in progress, that's for sure. We have 5 chapters right now, with some that don't have funding set aside for it. But some of the things that I think that have really helped for me, that I really want to share with you and my team when they hear me talk, I think I sound like a broken record, because success in this business really relies on 3 things. I'm a true believer on this one. You have to have belief in the product, you have to have belief in the company, you have to have belief in yourself, right? And if you have all 3 of those, you really are going to be successful at whatever you do, because success is defined by whatever you want it to be, right? If you have passion is going to make you do your job, right? I really feel like when you have a passion about something, you always make time for what you do. Because I have a lot of people who say, well, I don't have enough time for a business. I don't have enough time to do that. Or I'm so busy that I can't do this, this, and this. And I don't like to share my story very often about that, because am I busy? Yes. But I'm busy because I want to be busy. Am I working full time? Yes, because I'm doing a project that I really believe in, that I really enjoy doing, and it's all about balance. And so the balance and consistency piece, what we're learning is there comes a point where you have to turn off your phones and, focus on your family. You just have to figure out the timing for that, right? The balance of when do you want to have events, and are your kids involved? And I don't know about you guys, but I do this for my family and I do it with them. So like I was telling you guys earlier, my kids are off of school. They're home right now, and you probably can hear them, maybe not, but they're part of my why. And if you don't have a why, then you need to get one, and your why may change over time. And I'm going to tell you you heard a little bit about my original story, but I'm going to try to share screen. I got to show you this one. This is my why. Can you guys see Luke? Heather, nod your head if you can see Luke. Can you? Okay, good, Peggy. I'm glad you can too. Okay, so this is Luke. It's kind of an older picture of him, but he is my why. He's my youngest. He's my baby. He is now 3 and almost 3/4. He will tell you that too. But this is when he was 2. And, over time, it's amazing the things that you do as a mom that really become important in your life. Obviously, your kids are number one. But Luke, I just wanted to show you this picture of Luke, because when he was 16 months old, we had just moved to Virginia. We were stationed at the Pentagon, and he had a really tragic accident. He fell out a 2nd-story window, and he landed on his head 14 feet below. And so he is our miracle baby. And I show you this picture because this picture was taken, it was taken not too long afterwards, but there, I'll bring it back again, because if I keep looking at him, I'll start crying. So we were fortunate enough to live in Washington, D.C. God was with us totally, because paramedics were there in 3 minutes. He never lost consciousness. It was the 50th anniversary of the I Have a Dream speech, and they knew the exact roads to travel to get to Children's National Medical Center, which is one of the best children's hospitals in the entire nation. And it was all these things working towards us. Now, I have to preface, I left him alone for 10 seconds to throw away a dirty diaper, but 1-year-olds do crazy things, and he climbed up on a couch and he fell through the window screen. And so it was just one of those crazy things that happened. But the doctors were amazed that he, A, survived the fall, and B, started healing so fast. And the only thing that he would eat the entire 5 days we were in the ICU and the neuroscience ward was Juice Plus Complete shakes. And so knowing that he was getting the nutrition in his body to start healing was, from a mom's perspective, that's it gave me so much joy to know that at least I knew he was getting the nutrition he needed to start healing. But I share that with you because, you know, my why changed over time. My why really, really changed. And before it was, I mean, I love people. I love helping people. I want to see everybody get healthy and their stories. For me at the time, my why had been because I can run again and because I want to help people be able to do the same things I could. And then it became very obvious that it was because I really want to help as many kids as I possibly can. I want to help kids that have a childhood obesity problem. I want to help kids who, you know, who are autistic or have ADHD. I just want to help kids. And that's kind of where my why went. And Luke's fall really had a lot to do with that. So I really hope that each and every single one of you have a why of why you do your business and what it is that you're looking for. And maybe a financial piece, you know, for us, you know, we've been able to do amazing things. I've always wanted to take my kids on a Disney cruise. Well, we're going on our 6th Disney cruise this summer. And Juice Plus paid for every single one of those. They paid for me to become a Disney Vacation Club member. You know, we get to go and do these amazing things and go and visit all of our team and our family because of what Juice Plus has to give us. So I do have to say that it's not easy all the time, is it? It's not easy all the time. Sometimes you have your ups and downs and ins and outs, and every time you move, you have to figure out where do you even start. I'm at that point right now still because I am working. I can't get out of the house as often, and you guys have heard the term goof, get out of the house. Goofing can be a little bit difficult when you're working. So for me, it's just finding the right events to go to and to be a part of, and, you know, messaging people that I forgot I even knew in my life. You know, how many people do you know from grade school and high school that you still haven't contacted? And, you know, that's amazing thing with social media is that you can text them, you can PM them, there's so many ways that you get in touch with people. You know, talk to your postman, talk to the garbage man. I don't care who you talk to. Just tell everybody about Juice Plus. And don't be afraid to be the Juice Plus lady. Because I take pride in that. Because whenever something happens, how many of you have had people who've had catastrophic events? You know, somebody whose parent has a heart attack and they're like, oh my gosh, I got to get on Juice Plus. I know you've been telling me about this for the last 3 years. And they're out there. They need you. They need what you have to offer. It's just a matter of you opening up your mouth and reminding everybody, I'm the Juice Plus lady and I'm proud of it. So get out there and do that. But I have to tell you also that life doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, if you could see me now, I haven't worked out yet. I meant to this morning and I haven't had a chance. My house is kind of a mess and I'm not a perfectionist, but I like to be tidy. And so there's so many things that happen and life doesn't have to be perfect, right? It doesn't. It just has to be fun. And that's what I tell you guys, is that have fun in what you do, because if it's not fun, you're doing it wrong. And we always love to have fun. And that is the big thing. So I do share, and I'm going to end with this, but I do share one quote with my team quite often. And Eleanor Roosevelt said this long time ago, obviously, since she's no longer with us, but do one thing that scares you every day. So if you do something that scares you every single day, I guarantee you're going to see progress in your business. You're going to see progress in your life. And so do something that scares you every day and have fun doing it. So with that, back to you.
Amy, that was so fantastic. When you were sharing your story about your son, like I had chills from head to toe. That's amazing. It's amazing. And, you know, everybody's got a story. Every single one of you have a story. It doesn't have to be a traumatic story, but you have a story. And so that's all that we do is share stories. And looking around the screen, I love that I can see so many kids in the background because that's what we do. And I'll tell you, Amy said it doesn't have to be perfect. The room behind me, there was mail on that table. There was laundry in that leather chair behind me. Like things all over the floor. I staged this room, okay? It doesn't always look like this. But yeah, you don't have to be perfect and you can take this anywhere and everywhere. And so what we wanted to do right now, for those of you that have maybe a question, either for Amy about her story or any one of us actually, if you want to, I don't know if they can unmute themselves individually, if you have to unmute everybody at the same time.
Oh, I think they can unmute themselves.
Okay, so if you have a question, go ahead and unmute yourself. We would love to. Lauren Brown.
Sorry. Oh.
Can you? There you
Okay, couldn't read the screen, like I need glasses to unmute. Okay, this was wonderful. Thank you for doing this today. I wanted to know what your DMO looks like.
Yeah, here, I'll show you. Hold on a second.
Oh, hey, look at, she's even got a visual for you.
So don't get your hopes up, because so how I usually do this, and I will tell you that yesterday was a really bad example. Again, life doesn't have to be perfect. Oh my gosh. My in-laws have been in town and life has been chaotic. I'm still getting out my Christmas gifts for my customers, and it's January. So, but perfect. Okay, so this is how I'm doing it now. I just have a folder, and then and nothing's filled out. So I'm a bad example, but I just use the DMO planner that they give you on the Mission Driven system, so that I have it handy. And then what I end up doing is I have it on here, but I usually end up putting it on my calendar. Because if it's on my calendar, I'm definitely the person that likes to cross things off. I love putting little check marks. I'm kind of weird like that. So, but I do, back in the day, it used to be called Royal Crown. I don't even know if they call it that now, but the 2x2x2x2, you're making your 2 new prospects, calling 2 current customers, etc. That really has helped me, and that helped me progress very quickly. I'm a national marketing director working full time, but I made it in a very holistic way because my team was growing, and they were growing because they were using a DMO, and that was a very solid DMO. So if you get used to doing something like this, it doesn't take long to do a 2x2x2x2. It does not take long. Sometimes you're leaving messages, but at least you feel like you've accomplished that. And maybe some people like to send out 5 to 10 messages a day. That works out really well too, because then you're constantly having people to reply to. One of our distributors who has pretty much gone through most of her warm market, and I don't want to call this Facebook stalking, but it's more Instagram than Facebook, but she actually looks for pictures and then kind of sees, people put everything on about their life on Facebook, and she only spends like 5 minutes looking to see what kind of common interests they have, and then she'll contact them. And that's a great way to cold call somebody and meet new people that way if you've gone through your warm market. And it's not in a creepy way. Trust me, it's not a creepy way. It's just it's a different avenue of being able to do something from home instead of having to, go door to door and walk around and, stop in different businesses if that's something you don't feel comfortable with. So that's a really great question.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay. So what was it that was told to you about the business that made you get into it? What ultimately was it? And then did you get into it? Sorry, did you get into it?
Hi.
Did you get into it thinking, okay, I'm just going to cover the cost of my product, or I'll just get my feet wet with it? Or did you see the opportunity full on? And if so, what was said?
Okay. Yeah. So
I'm going to mute myself. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Back in the day, so you guys remember the Juice Plus effect that is no longer in existence. They just took away. Before then, they had the fitness effect. I don't know if anybody was in the business back then, but the fitness effect was an opportunity for people to commit to working out and eating healthy, and it was more of a program, kind of like not exactly like what T30 is now, but it was a program, but it was set in place by the company, and they were offering one more competition. And of course, me as a personal trainer, group fitness instructor, it was a great avenue for me to get a bunch of the people in my classes and my personal training clients on board with the fitness effect. And so it became hey, this is the last time they're going to do it. You might want to get involved with this. So I got started with the intention of only paying for my product. That was the only thing I intended on doing. That's all I wanted, was to just pay for my product. And I bet you, everybody raise your hand if you were that same person who said they just want to pay for their product. Don't be shy. Yeah, I see Heather. I see a couple others. And now look at us. It became I'm seeing so many results. Of course, I'm just going to open up my mouth and tell people about it, just like Peggy did. It was just sharing. Just like you would share, your favorite recipe, or what movie you went to last weekend, and you don't get paid for that, but you do get paid for sharing Juice Plus. So it's you're going to get a lot of people. I think almost every single distributor on my team that's a leader right now that's growing their business got involved just to make enough to cover their product. Pretty standard. So.
Okay, very cool. And can I ask another one real fast?
Absolutely.
Because you started before T30 came along. I'm just curious, do you solely do T30 now, or how have you incorporated that, having started and made it, an MD without T30? When you bring on new people, do you do T30? Just curious about that.
Well, T30 is an interesting thing because I did T30 to lose the baby weight for my boys before T30 was a thing. And T30 is actually within our line because I'm on Joy Kelly's team and Mitra Ray's team. And so it helps that, Mitra Ray is the one who created T30 and kind of brought that into perspective. Now there's different, what I like is that you still have HLR. HLR is a great avenue to use. I have not personally shared HLR because I don't want to confuse a lot of people, because T30 is what our team has been sharing. But for people who want to focus more on families and gradual change, HLR is a fantastic, it's an amazing, and their new website, if you guys haven't seen their website, Jamie Kimsey and her team who have put that together have done an extraordinary job. So, what I would do is you have options, and then of course just one simple change. But the people that I'm generally come in contact with are the ones that, want to make a significant change right away. And so T30 is something that has really impacted that. So, and to be truthfully honest, if you guys haven't heard about T120, T120 takes T30 kind of to the next level. And so if you guys haven't heard about T120, that might be a great way to share it, because sometimes when you talk about T30, it can be kind of confusing to people because you're telling them to do a 30-day program, but you have capsules that are coming for 120 days. And so trying to explain that to them can be kind of confusing. So what we say now is that everything comes in a 120-day supply to include our shakes. Now, if they don't want to spend that much money and because it ends up being 4 boxes of shakes. So you can imagine the volume increase when you have 4 boxes of shakes and the capsules, Orchard Garden Vineyard capsules. But 2 shakes a day for 120 days. And for a minimum of 30 days, you're doing the T30 program, which is no gluten, no dairy. So it's a different way of sharing T30 and T120. And we can always have another call on that one if anybody wants me to chat with you about that. But we definitely use T120 on our team.
Great questions. Anybody else?
All right. I know I kind of glossed over the fact that I am working. I just want you guys to know that the nice thing about this business is that you do everything in stolen moments, right? So this is my lunch break, and I work this business when I can. I don't work this business 8 hours a day, 7 days a week. I work this business when it's convenient for me, and I work it when I can. And so I want you guys to realize that goes in with not being perfect, is that, my kids are by far the most important thing in my life. And so I need to make sure that I'm reaching their needs, both, spiritually, emotionally, physically. And then my business is important as well, but it's something that I do when I can. And I love the fact that my paycheck can still grow despite all of the responsibilities that I have. And it really comes with having a team of, and I don't want to say just women because we do have some men, but I'm sure most of your teams are mostly women. But a good team chemistry is so important. And so I really hope you guys work on team chemistry with your teams and just make your calls fun. Because I know a lot of you are like us. None of my leaders are here in New Mexico with me. They are spread out literally all across the country. And so we have to Zoom, and thank goodness for Zoom. I don't know what I'd do without it. But we do a lot of ours on Voxer and things of that nature. So find stolen moments when kids are sleeping, or, when I do a lot of stuff in the car when I'm driving, making my phone calls and listening to Voxers and things of that nature. So I wanted to make sure if there's anybody who does work full time, that you do realize that you can have a thriving business and you can have a lot of fun doing it, even if you are working full time.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Amy, for sharing your story. And you guys, we are so excited that you jumped on to our very first military Zoom chat. And we're going to continue these calls featuring a different person each time. And so we invite you guys to just really build this up and invite people that are on your team that are in the military, or maybe that are in the military that don't know about Juice Plus, that want to be, that are maybe looking for something like we talked about before. So pay attention to the Facebook page, the event page that we had on Facebook. If you guys are not a part of that, ask whoever invited you to this call and we'll add you to that page just so you can stay updated. And we're going to be posting some things on there and then talking about updated calls, our upcoming calls as well. So you guys have an awesome day. And Amy, thank you so much again for sharing.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.